Picture this. You're standing in a bazaar in a city that dominates geopolitical headlines almost every week, and a shopkeeper who's never met you before is insisting you sit down, drink tea, and eat with his family. That contradiction, tense international politics on one side, remarkably warm individual hospitality on the other, is the first thing almost every independent traveler mentions after visiting Tehran. And it's exactly why this city confuses people before they've even booked a flight. So here's what you're getting in this video. We're going to walk through what first-time travelers actually need to know about Tehran: visas, money, dress code, safety, and what there is to actually do. Separating outdated assumptions from the practical reality on the ground. No fluff, no fear-mongering, just the stuff that determines whether your trip goes smoothly or goes sideways. Let's start with the part that trips up more people than anything else: getting in. Chapter 1. The Visa Maze. Most nationalities can apply for an Iranian e-visa or get a visa on arrival at Imam Khomeini International Airport, the country's main gateway sitting roughly 30 to 45 kilometers south of central Tehran. But here's the catch. Travelers from the US, UK, and Canada have historically not been eligible for that same on-arrival process. Instead, they've typically needed to travel with a licensed tour guide or agency for the entire trip. This is exactly the kind of rule that shifts with geopolitics. So before you book anything, confirm your specific nationality's current requirements directly with an embassy or licensed agency. Don't assume last year's blog post still applies. Retention. Reset. Now, let's say your visa is sorted. You still can't just show up and swipe your card at dinner. Which brings us to Chapter 2. Money, and why you need to think about it completely differently here. Due to international sanctions, foreign Visa and MasterCard bank cards generally do not work anywhere inside Iran. That means your entire trip budget needs to exist as physical cash, euros or US dollars, that you exchange locally once you arrive. There's no backup ATM withdrawal if you run short, and once you start paying for things, you'll hit the second money trap. Iran's official currency is the rial, but everyday prices are almost always quoted in Toman, where 1 Toman equals 10 rials. So when a taxi driver says a fare is 50, is that 50 Toman or 50 rial? That tenfold gap is a genuinely common source of overpaying, so always clarify which unit you're being quoted before handing over cash. Now Chapter 3, how you'll actually look and move through the city. Alcohol is illegal under Islamic law, full stop. And women, including foreign tourists, are legally required to wear a headscarf along with modest, loose-fitting clothing in public. So pack that headscarf in your carry-on, not your checked bag, because you'll need it the moment you land. Both men and women should skip shorts and sleeveless tops, especially at religious sites. On the tech side, popular platforms like Instagram, Facebook, X, and sometimes WhatsApp are officially blocked, and locals and travelers alike get around this with VPNs. Download yours before you land because app stores can be difficult to access once you're already inside the country. It's also worth grabbing a local SIM from a provider like Irancell or MCI shortly after arrival. Affordable data makes navigating everything else in this video dramatically easier. Retention. Reset. Okay, so you've handled money, dress, and connectivity. But is Tehran actually safe? This is the question that stops most people cold, and the honest answer has 2 very different layers. Chapter 4. Safety, honestly. Day to day, independent travelers consistently report that petty and violent crime against tourists in Tehran is low, and most describe positive, low-friction experiences with locals. The real risk category that deserves your attention is different. It's geopolitical. There are documented historical cases of foreign nationals and dual Iranian nationals, particularly from the US, UK, and a few other countries facing arbitrary detention tied to diplomatic tensions rather than anything they did wrong personally. If that applies to your passport situation, check your government's current travel advisory closely before you commit to a trip. On a more mundane level, winter air pollution in Tehran can be significant, and traffic is genuinely chaotic, so be careful as a pedestrian. Chapter 5. And the payoff for pushing through all that logistics. What you're actually rewarded with once you're there. Tehran's metro is extensive and cheap, And it'll get you to the Grand Bazaar, the UNESCO-listed Golestan Palace, the National Museum of Iran, Niavaran Palace Complex, the modern Tabiat Bridge, and the city skyline view from Milad Tower. None of these are Iran's oldest treasures. Tehran only became the capital in 1786, so it's young by Persian standards compared to Isfahan or Persepolis. But it's the practical, functioning heart of the country, and a genuinely walkable, metro-friendly introduction to it. If you want the mildest weather, aim for spring or autumn, and be aware that Nowruz, the Persian New Year around March 20th, brings festive energy but also nationwide closures and heavy domestic travel. A few of these details, especially visa rules and card access, can shift with little warning, so double-check current requirements and advisories before you book, and again right before you fly. So back to that shopkeeper and his tea. That contrast. A government that dominates tense headlines and a culture of hospitality that seems to operate on its own completely separate track isn't a contradiction that you need to resolve before visiting. It's just the reality of Tehran. And once you understand the practical rules underneath it, the cash, the dress code, the visa quirks, that warmth is what most travelers say they remember most. If this kind of honest, no-hype breakdown of a misunderstood destination is useful to you, subscribe. We're doing this